O'clock. Good morning. Let's get started. We've got a lot of people in the room. I want to identify because a lot of the cameras can't see who's behind you. They're available. I think most will speak and have some comments. We have Major Bob Bromage. He's here. He's going to talk about some media issues. Colonel Baxley is here. He's going to talk about weather and projections. Ashley Jacobs, the county administrator, is going to talk about the county state of emergency. Superintendent Frank Rodriguez is here. Chairman Stu Rodman. We have Coroner Ed Allen. Mayor McCann, Hilton Head. Mayor Salka, Bluffton. Mayor Murray, Port Royal. Mayor Kaiserling, Beaufort City. We have Bluffton Police Chief Chris Chapman in the back. We have Chief Matt Clancy with Beaufort, Chief Allen Beach and Port Royal. So if y'all need any of these folks, if you wanted to ask any questions that's related to any of these names that I called out, by all means do so and give them a heads up. That way they can start making their way up to the front. We are here not to get out in front of any press conferences that will be had at the state level. I understand there's a very good possibility that there will be a press conference out of Columbia between 1:30 and 2 o'clock today. That, of course, will be very informative, as I think they're one of their first ones out of Columbia. Of course, we're here because of Dorian. It's a very, very unpredictable hurricane. We are not solid on any path at this time, and Neil will cover that. It's a very strong hurricane. I think, as you all well know, I think it's a Category 5 at this time. Hopefully we'll get a lot weaker as the next days move. And I know that we've all had experience in this this thing over the past few years, but this storm is very capable of pushing a lot of water, producing a lot of wind, a lot of rain. There have been no plans at this time, and I'll repeat it because we're not going to do anything prematurely. There have been no plans for an evacuation at this time. So that's really the only comments that we can make about anything to do with an evacuation. I'll be here and kind of walk y'all through this process, but we'll start out with Major Bromage, if you want to cover what we're doing with media issues over the next couple of days.
At the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office, our primary mode of communication with the public is Nixle, and that can be reached at nixle.com. You can sign up from your phone. Currently, we have 35,000 adult subscribers to Nixle in Beaufort County, and some have second homes here. But that's a fairly large percentage of our adult population. We feel the word's getting out well there. In addition, we use Nextdoor, and currently there are 46,000 some odd people on Nextdoor that are following our Nixle advisories. In addition, social media, as we learned in Hurricane Matthew, that was a very hard lesson to learn, but during the reentry, we weren't on there often enough. Nixle connects directly with our Facebook and Twitter, and those are great modes of communication, and we have tried to reach out and find where people want to be notified of their public information. So we'll find them. We've got some great local media here, print, television, radio, that get the word out and get great official information from us and other sources. The National Hurricanes Center is a great source of information to monitor the storm while we're not putting out information. But our goal is to be out there early and often and to let the public know what's going on. And we ask our residents and guests to share that information, share that official information, so nobody's in the dark. We don't want to leave anybody behind on this. Very dangerous storm. We're going to continue to push out information. And again, I'd like to thank the local media. I'd also like to thank the private Facebook groups that have been instrumental in containing some of the anxiety and containing the misinformation. So we'd ask everybody to do their part in getting official information, passing it along, and trying to quell misinformation on social media, which has been a problem in the past, but it's been much better over the last couple storms, especially in this storm. Any questions on public information? Thank you.
Bob will also, he'll put out some additional information after the 1:30 or 2 o'clock press conference in Columbia. He'll make sure that we refresh that with updates. Also, if I could ask the media and all those that are present covering this, it is Sunday, and there are a lot of worship services going on right now in the county that may miss this particular press conference. So if you could show this again later today for those who were at church this morning, and that way they'll be able to pick up some information on it as well. Colonel Baxley.
Good morning, everybody. Take you through a few steps. First off, the governor declared a state of emergency for the state of South Carolina yesterday afternoon. What that allows us to do in the planning process and emergency management is to begin to move resources. It frees up allocations of resources. So you're going to see later this afternoon State Highway Patrol troopers arriving in Beaufort County. You're going to see South Carolina Army National Guard arriving in Beaufort County. This is in preparation. We may not do anything, but you have to be ready for it. So you're going to see these resources arriving because of that order. I know a lot of people get all excited about the OPCONs. What OPCON are we at? Well, Beaufort County is currently at operating condition 2, which means we are going through our checklist. We're doing all the preparations. We're ready for whatever the next step has to be. We will go to OPCON 1 at noontime at 1300 today. I'm sorry, 1300 today. That's 1 o'clock. And all that means, again, we'll be activating our Emergency Operations Center, bringing in all of our folks that work at the various emergency support functions, the ESF desks, and doing the things that we have to do to get ready. It does not mean that an evacuation is imminent. It means that we're doing all the things that we have to do to have Beaufort County ready for whatever happens. So let's talk about the storm a little bit. Everybody follows the models and follows your various weather information sources. I want to encourage everyone to be sure that you follow authoritative sources. There are a lot of folks out there pumping out information which is not necessarily accurate, not necessarily going to give you good guidance to make decisions on. The storm track is forecast to make the right turn. They all do. The question is where it happens at. Right now the forecast is very close to the South Carolina coast, but we're deep in the error cone. Today, with the storm being approximately 4 days out, the black line is showing it to pass about 60 miles off the coast of Beaufort. That's very important, except for the fact that we know there's a 150-mile error in there. So 60 miles closer and it passes over downtown Beaufort. 60 miles the other way and it's not an issue at all. We've been experiencing king tides for the last several tide cycles, and we've had water up on normally dry ground in a number of places. That situation is going to get worse over the next few days. The storm is already beginning to push water on top of the normal king tides that we've been experiencing, so we're going to see more water. If you live in a low-lying area that has experienced water over the last few days, be prepared. It's going to get worse. You're going, if it got up to the back of your house last night, as we know a couple of places in Beaufort County did, tonight it's going to be up against the house or possibly even starting to enter. Be prepared for this. I want to take you back in history a minute. The storm is currently a Category 5. That will weaken before it gets here. Very, very highly unlikely that it will remain a Category 5 as it gets close to Beaufort County. But as I go around the county talking and giving emergency management briefings, a lot of people think that Matthew was a Category 2. It was not. The highest recorded wind at the Hilton Head Airport, an official recording site, was 86 miles per hour. That's a weak Category 1. And remember what Matthew did to Hilton Head, what it did to Fripp Island, what it did to Hunting Island, and some other points in Beaufort County. At the Marine Corps Air Station, another official recording place, the highest recorded wind was only 58 miles per hour. But a lot of water was pushed in here. Delta Island Marina, Delta Island, another good example. So keep in mind, this storm right now is already pushing water. We know what Matthew did to us, and it was a weak Category 1. And it was a coast crawler going just off the coast. This one's promising to be Matthew and worse. I want to address some rumors. Again, go listen to authoritative sources. When we were on our state conference call at 9 o'clock this morning, the state brought up they had been informed that there was a fuel outage at the gas pumps at the Costco on Hilton Head. I immediately had to question that because there is no Costco in Hilton Head. But that's the kind of information that is being pushed out there, and people are reacting to it. At this time, across South Carolina, there are no fuel shortages. Our fuel supply is uninterrupted. Every station has fuel just like they should have. So do not get into a panic about fuel. But that's people putting stuff out on social media that's not a really good idea. Again, there are no orders to evacuate at this time. We're planning and preparing for whatever eventuality would come, but I would encourage the citizens, based on your experiences in Matthew, based on your experiences in Irma, and Irma was never a tropical storm here. It was never a storm here at all, but remember the water we had as a result of a storm that went to Georgia. So if you're not comfortable with this, you might want to think about yourself leaving, regardless of what orders may or may not be in place. It'll be a good time to go ahead and get on the road. I-95 has experienced some pretty heavy traffic coming north out of Florida and has been since late Friday afternoon. So keep in mind that. Other than that, again, emergency management is preparing. We're ready, and that's all I have at the moment, sir.
Coach Crawler? Yeah, I like that. County Administrator Ashley Jacobs.
Good morning. Beaufort County personnel and equipment are prepared and on standby. Everyone is in good spirits and they know what to do. If there is an event, we will be ready to respond, and we'll get everyone back to normal as soon as possible. Our council chairman, Stuart Rodman, will sign a proclamation declaring a state of emergency effective at 1 p.m. today. This state of emergency will be issued in coordination with our municipalities. And what this does is that it authorizes us to utilize resources necessary to continue our preparations and response. That's all I have.
Superintendent Frank Rodriguez with Beaufort County School District.
Good afternoon, Frank Rodriguez, and just wanted to share with you we are continuing to monitor the situation closely as we have been over the past few days, and we will continue to coordinate and collaborate with our emergency management system here and make appropriate decisions as are needed at that time. Thank you.
Stu, anything? Stu Rodman, Beaufort County Council Chairman. Ed Allen, Ed's here. Ed, is there any comments? Or did Ed leave? Okay, you're good? All right.
Thank you, Sheriff. Rest assured that the Sheriff, Colonel Baxley, and all of their staff are very professional. They're all prepared. They've been through all the drills to get ready for this. And the only thing I would say to you is take this thing seriously. The magnitude of the wind field, the king tides, the onshore, and the fact that we're low. Just don't overlook the fact that we really do have to take this seriously and pay attention to what they tell you to do and suggest that you do. Thank you, Sheriff.
Mayor McCann, Hilton Head. And on deck is Mayor Salka.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good morning, everybody. You know, the state, the county, and the towns are prepared for this 12 months a year. My message out today is two things: that for the residents of Hilton Head, please watch the surf. It's very, very rough out there. And for the citizens, it's your turn now. The county, the staff, and the state have done their job. We need your help in following the instructions that you're given the next couple days. When it's time to evacuate, please evacuate. When it's time to do whatever instructions you get, it's time to do. It's your turn to be part of this equation, and we appreciate all your help. Thank you very much, and take care of each other.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to reiterate what everyone else said, but we do have an A-team. We've got the A-team here. We have our sheriff's department. We have all our police departments. We have our town managers here. You have all your mayors here, and led by our county administrator. So thank you, Ashley. We sent a letter out last week asking all our POAs and HOAs to lower their lagoons if they can. I hope they abided by that request. That's key for these communities. So If you're listening, please, if you're living in one of the communities, please take that to your POA. Take a check on what you're doing. I just did it this morning. I videoed my house. I checked my insurance papers. I have water. I fill my car up with gas. Little things you can do right now, and it'll alleviate the anxiety that we all are going to have. Clean out your ditches. If you got a culvert under your road, don't wait on the county or the town to come do it. Get a shovel out there today and clean some ditches and just let the water flow. I know we have a C-Click Fix and the Beaufort County Connect are great apps to download if you see something now or during the storm. But like Mayor McCann and Sheriff said, just take care of your neighbors and do the right thing and kind of get an idea what's going to happen. We're ready and we're going to handle this, you know, storm or no storm. So thank you.
Mayor Murray and Mayor Kaiserling.
As everyone else have said, let's be prepared. I have my town manager here, two of my council members here. They're very concerned, Mayor Beth Hayward, Jerry Ashmore, and police chief and fire chief. We all here and we all in this together. Please be prepared, have food and water, have your tank filled up just in case, and have some batteries, and make sure you listen to the media and get the right information, and we all work through this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good morning. As I said in my newsletter last week, it is the season, and it's not too early to be prepared. So fill up that duffel bag with the water, the batteries, the things you need, and if you don't need them this time, you'll have another opportunity this season. I'd say, you know, be prepared. There's simple things you can do. Think of every last-minute thing you did the last time, and just get it out of the way, because there'll be new things that come up. I'm very excited to say that our city manager, police chief, fire chief, and our whole staff has spent the last 3 days. We've already distributed sandbags, mostly to do with the king tides, which is what we're already feeling. Depending what happens, we will start continuing to bag next week if we think it's necessary. I know we're prepared. The question is whether everybody out there is prepared. Thanks to the leadership of the sheriff, the county administrator, the county council chairman, and Old Faithful, Colonel Baxley, who's there to hold our hand and lead the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, we got a new name for Neil. Old Faithful, I think, is good. I think that's very, very fitting. Chief Chapman, Chief Clancy, and Chief Beach. Anything? Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. That's all that has information to share, but you are more than welcome to ask whatever question you think is appropriate. Any questions? Anything that we can help you with? Okay. Well, again, Major Bromwich will be sending out some additional information after the governor's press conference between 1:30 and 2-ish, and we will, based on that press conference and based on if I'm not mistaken, Neil, a 4 o'clock conference call with the state, we'll look at what we do tomorrow. So if we feel that having the press conferences as we're doing now is important to help get information out to the general public, then we'll plan on doing those every day at 11 o'clock in this room. Because we have a 9 o'clock conference call, which gives us time to go ahead and prepare for 11 o'clock press conference. So thank you all for being here. If y'all could air this again later on today because of those folks that were in church this morning, we would appreciate it, and thank y'all.